Welcome back, everyone, to a brief yet informative look into why Season 12 worked, why it's a step in the right direction, the possible futures, both the good and the bad. But first, if you haven't yet, consider subscribing and joining my Discord. The code is on the screen right now. Trying to hit 25k by the end of this year. Giveaways and stuff are all done on my Discord, so join there. Is it possible? I don't know. Who knows? The only way to find out is to do it, right? Season 12. Why did it work? And I'll be honest, I originally didn't think it would work. Thought deliveries would kind of get old and very stale by the third week, yet people are still enjoying them. Why? Well, first and foremost, I think the cost to complete these versus the reward is one of the most worthwhile deals in a very long time in Last Day on Earth. If I scroll down to all of the people who got ATV transmissions because of the deliveries, there's a very long list and so many screenshots you can possibly find. Now, I know that the developers have said that these deliveries will be permanent, but I'll get to the permanent content type thing in a little bit. But the last thing I must say about deliveries is it's much more worth it compared to the original weekly tasks. You're doing stuff within the season. It's not just the tasks are there so you complete the season. It's well integrated, I will say that. Now, the missing AIs. There's a distinct yet connected feel between the weekly content coming out each week, from finding these AIs to their quests. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the weeks style content in the seasonal context because it reinforces seasons. As many of you know, I am a fan of weekly content, just not in the seasonal context because I don't think seasons fit in a survival game. But I can understand if you do. The AI questline, it adds a missing story element, which is present in the survival game genre. I will say, though, there wasn't a really distinct connection between the weeks of their quests. For example, week 1 had Citizen K, and I never saw any Citizen K tie-ins in weeks 2 or 3. They were just different AIs. Would have liked to seen something like that if they went this route again. But again, it's just very minor nitpicks. I didn't really have too much to say about complaining there. The other two parts of this update, the Boombox. Now, I did like the Boombox. It changes really, really fast, but maybe in the future we'd be able to choose our songs. For example, if ldoe gets some sort of Spotify integration, that would be really cool. Imagine if I could blast, on this radio. That would be really, really cool. And then the other part of this update that I'd like to talk about is the Halloween update. Now, this part does get kind of old, but it wasn't too big of a deal in terms of the overall update, because then again, the Halloween stuff that you get is used to further the season stuff, so it didn't really have too much of a Halloween tie-in, which I think is a good thing, considering we are very, very far off from Halloween, so I don't think if they put this season as a heavy emphasis on Halloween, it would go over too well, and people would have gotten pretty tired of it by now. But they didn't, so that is a good thing. And then the last thing I must touch on, food, a good change. Now, I did see a couple of people talking about the PD now, or other really bad changes. I'd like to say, just let's take it one step at a time. Let's consider this food thing a victory, a good change. Really would hope that they would do something like this in Sector 7 now, or maybe even Frostborn. I'm going to be controversial there, but maybe, just maybe. Now I want to touch on, I'm sure, what many of you have expected this video to go off of. Looking at the future. Last Day on Earth has mentioned plans to continue with this sort of Genesis storyline thingy. Now, the one thing that makes me a little bit held back with this Genesis storyline thingy is, why should I really care about the Genesis, aside from the new content? Everyone loves new content, but why should I care about the Genesis storyline in particular, in comparison to, say, the seasons as the way they've been doing them? Are the Genesis Corporation thing responsible for the apocalypse? If that is something, I would have liked to see some indication about it, at least this season, or at least maybe even season 10 even, to get me to care about them. All I know right now is they're just there to fill the void of story. So I would like to see some reason why I should care about them, and if this intends to span over multiple seasons, I definitely would hope to see something or some reason why I really should care about them. But again, it's just a very minor nitpick. I do like the fact that they are going down the permanent content road, just a little bit hesitant when they mask it under the disguise of Genesis, when I have no reason to care about them in the first place. Just to recap, originally I did think Season 12 was going to get very repetitive in the end, and while there's no doubt I've seen some people get kind of tired of the repetition going into week 3, it's a very, very, very small group of players who are getting bored in comparison to the overall community feel. and people are enjoying the season. I really hope there is more of this kind of thing going on in the future, I guess. And based on the way they're leading this, it looks like it. I'm hopeful, but also cautiously optimistic to see what happens next. Season 12, definitely a step in the right direction, but one wrong step can send you back. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. Again, subscribe, leave your opinions down below in the comments, or join my Discord. The code is on the screen. Interested to hear what you all have to say about this and where the game appears to be headed in the future, going into the next season and beyond. My next ldoe video is going to touch on where I think that permanent content and all those teases are going to go, but we'll get more into that in that video. This video was more about Season 12. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. ZD out.